Hello, can you hear me? Hello, સંભળાય?
Swamiji, સંભળાય છે, but
Hello,
you're coming in and out. We can see you and hear you.
I mean, can you hear me and see me?
Now we can.
Okay, then we'll start the class. Okay.
Ji, Swamiji.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karne Vishnuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastinandro Vruddhashava Swastinah Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastinastarsho Arishtanemihi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vansharshibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitah Prajnanaganah Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badayanam Sutra Bhashyo Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om. Mantra number 5. Satyena labhyastapasa hyesha atma. Satyena labhyastapasa hyesha atma. Samyak jnanena brahmacharyena nityam. Samyak jnanena brahmacharyena nityam. Antah sharire jyotirmayo hi shubhrah. Antah sharire jyotirmayo hi shubhrah. Yah pashyanti yatayah kshina doshaha. Yah pashyanti yatayah kshina doshaha. Last time we saw yesterday this mantra. This Satya, Tapas and Brahmacharya is secondary means, or they are called as Bahiranga Sadhana, external means. They are the means to prepare you for the knowledge, therefore secondary means. And the primary means is Samyak Jnana. And as we said, Samyak Jnana means Guru and those Sadhan Chatushtaya and Shraddha and Shastra, Abhyasa and Shravanamana, Nidhi Asana, everything is included. So, this primary means is Shastra Abhyasa, including all this, and secondaries means this. Why? You become Kshina Dosha. One becomes free from any doshas, free from impurities. Please understand, what is impurity? That which is not natural to a vastu, or that which is external to a given vastu is impurity. Part of the copper in a copper vessel is not impurity. But then part of the copper in a golden ornament is impurity. So what is not Swarupa or what is unnatural is impurity. The Swarupa of Atma is Satchidananda. Swarupa of Atma is Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. That is me. So what is impurity? It is consciousness. It is Gnana Swarupa. Avidya is a fundamental impurity. Presence of ignorance in I with reference to I is impurity. That is the ultimate impurity. That is the ultimate dosha. And ignorance being what it is, gives rise to a different sense that I am limited, ultimately gives rise to raga dveshas. So raga dvesha is impurity. Vikshepa is impurity, restlessness of the mind. And impurity in terms of raga dveshas. They are called malaha. And absence of subtlety of the intellect. These are impurities. So kshina doshaha pashyanti. Those who are free from impurities, they will see the vastu. How come when they are free from impurities? Because of this satyena labhyaha, tapasa labhyaha, and brahmacharyena labhyaha. And last time I said nityam, always committing to satyam, always committing to life of tapas, and or restraint, and always committing to life of brahmacharya. Brahmacharya here primarily means Gurukula Vasa. Brahmachari means one who lives in the proximity of a teacher. Means who the lifestyle of a certain discipline and lifestyle of total commitment to Shastra study and whatever little ancillary satellite karmas to be done, Guru Seva, etc., that committed lifestyle is Brahmacharya, Nityam. So primarily the person is either you can say a Brahmachari or a sannyas, Gurukul Vasa. Means having a mumuksha, having a strong desire for moksha. And as Puja Swamiji would say, he will burn all the boats and go to a teacher. So given up sarva karma sannyasa, giving up all karmas, taken to life of sarva karma sannyasi, that is kshina dosha. And that person, nityam, when you have this all the time, and then it is not enough that you have a guru, you go to Gurukulam, you have tapas. Last time I said tapas involves necessarily Ishvara. And living a life in the awareness of Ishvara. That Ishvara Nama Japa or awareness, the phalam of Ishvara awareness is purity of the mind. Freedom from likes and dislikes. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karma. Punya karmas, tapas and nitya naimitik karmas, which are always performed in the awareness of Ishvara, as an offering to Ishvara. Mamopata samasta durita kshaya dwara Shri Ishvara Pritya. That Ishvara, when it is there, then antakarana shuddhi takes place. Tapas is their discipline, that restlessness is addressed. You develop necessary ekagram, commitment to the goal. An ethical life makes the life free from any conflicts, any hurts and guilts. Person becomes a together person. When you compromise, we'll see in the next mantra, you become a splinter. The person is together. That means there is an alignment between cognitive faculty, buddhi and emotions. That is the phalam of Satyam means ethical life. All nitya naimittik karmas. Life of tapas involves discipline and awareness of Ishvara. That means antakarana shuddhi takes place, ekagram takes place. Brahmacharya is Gurukula Vasa. It implies mokshecha. There is opportunity to study Shastra. Has some Shraddha also. But all this is not enough. You have to strive for it. You have to strive. Therefore, yatayaha, who are always putting in their efforts, means there is a constant awareness about the goal of life and constant commitment to achieve the goal of life. There is no digression whatever. The mind never ever deviates from the goal. You can say chitta samadhanam, samyak adhanam, chittasya yasmin is placed very well in the moksha. Mokshecha is like deepta shikha. That is yataya. In spite of efforts, there are some obstacles. You see, it's very slippery. You get into some seva, get into vyakarana, get into some help, get into some memorizing the shlokas. All things can happen. I don't have time to elaborate all this. When we had a course, all began with, we were yataya, all of us, all brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. They were committed to that. They had some Shuddha Antakaranam, because of which they landed here in Gurukulam. And what amount of punyas they all had. That, I mean, we all had, that we had a guru, none other than Puja Swami. The Shrotriya Brahmanishta Acharya and Shrotriya of par excellence. The one who said, you cannot miss me. He was so confident that when I teach, you cannot miss it. Such a guru we had. Such an infrastructure you had. Fairly good infrastructure that compared to what the society, Hindu society in general, you have good food, good accommodation, etc. and all things provided free. At the end of the course, some got married also and some took to job also. Yatayaha. You have to constantly be introspective and make sure that I never deviate from the goal and I put in extra efforts to achieve the goal. That is called yati. And there is a possibility of happening. Therefore, Arjuna asked the question in the 6th chapter. Yogat chalita manasaha kam gatim krishna gacchati. Kaschinno bhaya bhrashtaha chinna brahmiva nashyati. Will he or she perish? Then Bhagavan says, there is a word, ayati shraddhayo petaha yogat chalita manas. The person is shraddha. Yoga means moksha marga. That the word yoga is used in the sense of knowledge. Please understand. In the 6th chapter, again that Mimamsa, I don't want to do it now, but at least I would like to negate this Purva Paksha. 6th chapter, the word yoga is often used. In the concluding also verse, he says, Bhagavan says, Tasmad yogi bhavar. Jnanibhyo adhiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavat. There again, tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga samhitam. And then atma upamena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham vayadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. And Arjuna himself uses the word yoga. Yoyam yoga svaya prokta samyena madhusudhane tasya ham na pashyami chanchalatva sthitim siram. Chanchalam hi mana krishna pramadhi balavatranam tasyaham nigraham manya, etc. etc. So you have to see the tatparya. Tatparya of the 6th chapter verses and especially the meaning of the word yoga is Atmagnan. Knowing the self as Brahman, that is the Tatparya. Not studying the whole chapter, nor studying the whole Shastra Gita. You have to Ek Sutrata, continuity of the meaning from 1 to Z, as they say. People quote something here and there, one shloka here and there to support their philosophy. Quite a few yoga teachers, including Ramdevji, I have heard saying, Bhagavan says, Tasmad Yogi Bhavan. That's a different context. That you have to see the Upakrama and Upasamhara, Abhyasaha, Apurvata, Phalam, Upapatti, etc. Lingas are there. So the word yoga is in the sense of Atmagna, Jnana Nishtha. And Arjuna says, Ayati Shraddhayo Petaha Yogat Chalita Manasa. His mind has deviated, moved away, Chalita Manasa, from yoga. Means from the pursuit of moksha. The mind has moved away from the pursuit of Atmagnanam. Kam Gatim Krishna Gachi. What will be the fate? Because he has given up the karma. So karma phala, as the karmas are not there. Akarane pratyavaya dosha is there. Nitya nimitti karma is not done. So its phalam he will not gain, he or she. Much less he gained the phalam of the knowledge. Phalam of the knowledge is purnoham, anandoham. That is also not gained. What will happen to it? Their word is ayatihi. Here also yatayaha. It's a plural of yati. And there it is a singular of yati. Singular. And there is a ayati prefix a. A prefix has, that is called nanj. It has 6 meaning. Absence or opposition or alpa arthagapi. Means yati means yatate iti yati. One who is always striving. One who is always putting in the efforts. One who is committed and consciously committed, who is aware about the commitment. That person is called yati. So ayatihi means one who is not striving. No. Their akara, that nanj, there is a good discussion in Tika and Bhashya, is in the sense of alparthe. One who has not done enough effort, put in enough efforts. That enough purushartha is not done. That is ayati. Ayatihi. Similarly, here he says yatayaha. That means one needs to become yati. Having had this opportunity of studying from a teacher, competent teacher, the one should continue striving till the knowledge takes place. That is what is implied. So yataya, these people who already enjoy certain purity of the heart, who already enjoy certain ekagram of the heart, who already have certain subtlety of the buddhi, they have all those. Even then, they have to strive till you own up the knowledge. Till that, what is taught in Shastra, he becomes your knowledge. In other words, till the Akhandakara Vritti takes place. Till the Purna Gnanam takes place, Ham Purnosmi, that knowledge takes place. Till then, one has to pursue. Therefore, Yatayaha Shila Dosha. Those who are free from these impurities, Pashyanti. What? Antasharire Jyotirmayaha. The self is said to be inside body. Understand this word. It is often said in Hridaya Gufa, in the cave of the heart. Yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so oshnute sarvan kamaan kaman brahmana kamaan saha brahmana vipashyateti. Taittiriya mantra. Or even na karmana na prajaya na dhane na tyage na ikya amrutatva manasu parena nakam nihitam guhayam. That guha in the heart cave, it is said. On one hand, we say Brahman is limitless. Purnamada Purnamid. The very word Brahman is limitless. Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. That's the Swarupa. And if it is limitless, how am I going to gain him only in the heart cave? Why should I see him in the heart? Why do you give a location to Brahman in the heart? That to Brahman which is formless. In this Upanishad itself, in the earlier section, it was said, Yattadadresham agraham achakshu ashotram avarnam. It is free from any attributes. That is limitless. No form, no taste, no color, nothing. Then how do you say it is to be gained in the heart? And it is there in the heart. Please understand. In the Shastra, when the word heart is used, it is used for buddhi. Okay? So to see is it in buddhi. What is buddhi? Buddhi is a seat of knowledge. Knowledge takes place in buddhi. Any knowledge. It is always intellectual. Like they said, some people not understanding this nididhyasana, not understanding manana, not understanding the role of pramana. Shastra is a pramana. They do not understand that. And therefore they say, you must have direct knowledge of Brahman, direct experience of Brahman. Intellectual knowledge doesn't work. They don't understand this. Every knowledge is intellectual. There is no intestinal knowledge, by the way. Knowledge does, or kidney knowledge. Knowledge takes place in intellect. So it has to be intellectual knowledge. You cannot have any other knowledge. What does it mean when we say this? That is a separate issue. We'll see some other time. But buddhi is a seat where aham vritti takes place. And that aham vritti is parichinna as of now. I is taken as to be limited. That I am limited, that knowledge or that self-awareness or that self-vritti is in buddhi. Since it happens to be in buddhi, what? The confusion. The erroneous conclusion is in buddhi. Therefore, the correction also has to take place in buddhi. And since that vritti is in buddhi, so it is said that buddhi guha or hridaya. And it is called guha, means cave. Because, cave is always dark. Similarly, agnanam is sahajam. You are born ignorant. And since you are born ignorant, there is a confusion, ignorance being what it is. And that confusion has created misapprehension about the self. Aham alpaha, aham dukhi, aham ashuddha, aham apavitra, etc., etc. So, that ahankara, the seat of ahankara, the seat of individuality, the seat there of aham karta, aham bhokta, which I am not. Naham karta, naham bhokta. Na hanti na nibadhyat. That is my swarupa. The seat of Ahankara is Buddhi. And the correction has to take place in Buddhi alone, since the mistake has taken place in Buddhi. So Buddhi alone has to recognize Atman. What Buddhi has to recognize Atman means I. What kind of recognition? It is already recognized. I know who am I. Kosmi janami aham. That is what everyone thinks. Buddhi has to recognize Atman, that I, which is Purna. Buddhi has to disown that I, which is Apurna. Dehatma bhava is to be negated. And then Dehatita Atma is to be owned up. Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham Nacha Srotra Jive Nacha Granane. Then it says Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shiva. So, and Buddhi is a part of Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira is within the body in a way, because it is Sukshma. Therefore, it is Antah Sharire, inside the body. Understand the word inside. Atma is neither inside nor outside, because there is nothing inside and outside. So-called inside and so-called outside is mithya. There is nothing really speaking inside and outside. So, Atma is to be recognized as Purna Atma, Natu Alpa Atma, and that recognition takes place in Buddhi alone. Wrong perception also is in Buddhi alone. Wrong knowledge or right knowledge is in Buddhi. So also self-knowledge has to take place in Buddhi. Therefore it is said Antah Sharire. It's a figurative use. You have to take a lakshartha of the word Antah Sharira. Not this physical body. And they say, dive deep within. I don't know what is dive deep within. Within is so shallow, you cannot dive. It is so shallow water that your ankles also will not get wet. There is a question of diving within. And dive deep within, and in the seat of meditation, have direct experience of Atma. All these Rambo Jumbo words already confused, and confuses a fellow more. Doesn't work that way. Anyway, so the error is in Buddhi. Correction has to take place in Buddhi. Therefore, it is said Antah Sharire. Buddhi is a place to recognize Atman. And how Atman is to be recognized, that it says in the last line of the mantra, Jyotirmayo hi Purushaha Shubhraha Purusha. The self is what? Jyotirmayaha and Shubhraha. It is pure. Now, what is Jyotirmayaha? In Sanskrit, the suffix Maya is in a sense of predominance, in abundance. Okay? So when you say Jyotirmayaha, does it mean there is a predominantly light? No. Here Mayaha is not in sense of modification or in predominance, but in terms of Swarupa. Okay? The predominance here is total. Totally Jyoti light, of the nature of light. Not predominantly of the nature of light. Okay, Jyotirmayaha Purusha. Now, what is Jyotirmayaha? Yes, hold on a minute. Okay. We have seen this earlier section also. Jyotihi means light. What kind of light? Self-effulgent. What do you mean by self-effulgent? That which does not require any agency, any light to light it up. That is Jyoti. What do I mean by any light to light up? Generally in India they say, especially when they introduce me on the dais, Swamiji is a great person. And how can I give Swamiji's introduction? It is like showing a lamp to the sun. Surya ne divo dekhadwa jevu છે. That means you don't have to light up the light. When you say light, yes, you don't have to light up the light. But I have said this earlier, for a blind person, there is only hot sun, not a bright sun. There is no light of the sun. That means to light up the light of a sun, you require eyes. If eyes are shining, then only you will see the light of the sun. Similarly, eyes are shining because there is a mind behind that is lighted up. If the mind is not lighted up, eyes will not see. And the mind is shining because there is intellect behind it which is lighted up. Intellect is shining because there is Atma behind it which is shining. And Atma is shining because it is shining, nothing but shining. It is called Jyotirmaya. Self-revealing, self-existing fact. That is Jyotirmaya, Purushaha. That is a Sarvam Purayati. It fills up everything. That Purushaha. You don't require any other light to shine. It is that light, consciousness is that light because of which all other lights come to light. All other lights come to light because of that light. That's why it is called Jyotihi Mayaha. Okay? Not predominantly like Annamayaha, Pranamayaha, Anna Vikaraha, not of light Vikara or not predominantly light. Here, predominance is total. Okay? So that is nothing but Jyotihi. It is Jyoti. He is a well-known fact. That's everybody knows. Jyotirmayaha, Kshinadoshaha, Yatayaha Pashyanti. They see those Atma and Kshinadoshaha, Yatayaha. That we have seen. Is how they see that. And it is Shubram. Shubram means which is pure, which is uncontaminated by anything and everything. That's a Purusha. Asanga Purusha. Purusha which is Asanga. That is. Now, look at the next mantra. Mantra number 6. Satyameva jayate nandrutam. Satyameva jayate nandrutam. Satyena pantha vitato devayanaha. Satyena pantha vitato devayanaha. Yena kramantya rushayo hyapta kamaha. Yena kramantya rushayo hyapta kamaha. Yatra tat satyasya param nidhanam. Yatra tat satyasya param nidhanam. Satyameva jayate nanrutam. Satyam, truth alone wins, not untruth. Actually, what does it mean? Only truthful wins. Who wins? The person who speaks truth, and not the one who is untruthful. Satyameva jayate. Na nutam jayate. You have to add jayate with the anutam. Untruth, untruth never wins. Truth alone wins. Okay. Then what does it say? Devayanaha panthaha. Sorry, panthaha vitataha satyena cha. Okay. The Devyana, the path for Devtas. Okay, Devyana. The path by which the Devtas went, you can say, is Satyena Vitata, is laid down by truth. That means you can travel by truth, or it is primarily laid down by truth. And he says, what is this? Yena akramanti rishayaha aptakamaha. By this path, yena rishayaha, those who indeed know, and aptakamaha, who have fulfilled all their desires, and they claim it, and that is a etat satyasya param nidhanam. That's ultimate treasure, the greatest treasure of truthfulness. Now, let us see Satyameva Jayate. Na Amritam Jayate. What is this Jayate Satyameva? He says, Shankaracharya says, Nahi Satyanrutayoho Kevalayoho Purushanashritayoho Jaya Parajayo Sambhavati. You see, they Satya and truth and untruth. They itself never wins or never loses. Okay? They have to have ashraya on Purusha. So when you say Satyameva Jayate, you mean Satyavan Eva Na Anrutam Jayate. Means Anrutavadi Na Jayate. One speaking untruth will never win. And one who speaks truth always wins. Okay? Now, how do you say so? Satya alone wins, and this fellow doesn't win at all. Satya wins, and Anrutam doesn't win, don't win. We often see today that only Anrutavadi wins. Satyavadi, Satyameva Jayate means one who speaks truth wins, not truth by itself. Because the truth and untruth are actually, there is no possibility of victory or failure of Satya and Asatya. Because unless somebody is there, Purushashra is there, there is not possible that. So it has to be located in somewhere. Satyavadi Jayati, Anrutavadi Na Jayati. That would be the right translation. Okay. And how can you be Satyavadi? That also you should know. By just telling one or two truths here and there, you don't become Satyavadi. In every gesture of my existence, in every moment of my existence, if I am committed to Satyam, then I become Satyavadi. Not simply by telling one or two truths and you become Satyavadi. So Satyavadi Jayate, Anrutavadi Na Jayate. How do you say ki he wins? No, there are three reasons for which you can say only this fellow wins. Satya, we have seen, means not simply speaking truth. Satyam means anything and everything that I am expected to do. Dharma, per se, is Satyam here. Now, when one speaks a Satyam, the threefold loss is there. What is the first loss? You know what is truth and you went against your knowledge. that what is truth is commonly sensed by everybody. So you know it. When I know and still I don't do it, that means the knower knows and doer does something else. That becomes a split. First of all, that is a loss. Okay? It creates conflict within. Okay? Now, by doing wrong, improper thing, you create a conflict, etc. That's true. But then, that being a karma, you have to exhaust karma phala as well. So when it is said, and then threefold loss is there, and it is caught, the state will punish the fellow. Police and court of law will punish the person who has done something wrong. But then when you speak truth, this may not happen to you. Therefore it is said, Satyavadi jayate, na amrutavadi jayate. Person telling lie will not be. How come he? Well, it's okay, Swamiji. Three-way punishment takes place. But then in our life, then generally those who speak truth are losers, and those who speak untruth are the gainers. How come that is? You see, there is a reason why. The fellow who speaks untruth knows that I am speaking untruth. He knows that I should not do this. When you do something wrong, you know what you should do and not do. That means there is a conflict within when you commit to something else. So, that is the first thing. And there is a conflict, therefore, to get over conflict and to get over the anomaly in untruth, the fellow may position himself in such a way that it is perceived as truth. Untruth is perceived as truth. And the person who speaks the truth always has a feeling like a typical Hindu. Truth will prevail by itself. They are negligent in positioning themselves. It is like saying that the law, when there is a judgment in a court of law, there is a very beautiful statement about law. It is not enough that the justice is done. That it should be seen that the justice is done. When the judge pronounces the punishment, that last judgment is hardly 4 lines or 5 lines. The judgment, the headlines will be that imprisonment for so many years and fine for so many years, and etc. 3 things are there. In the last line, judgment will be also that. Therefore, the judge will say, I give this verdict. This fellow is a culprit, and therefore this much fine he or she should pay. If not, they will be undergoing rigorous imprisonment for so many years, etc. That is what the judgment is given. But before that, there are 200, 300 pages. The 300 pages are to make you see that judgment is done. When you speak truth, people are negligent to make others speak. See that I am truthful. They think I am truthful. Why should I care for them? I don't bother. Whatever they think of me, let them think. But I am not going to. No, it is not enough that you speak truth. It is necessary that you should be perceived as the one who speaks truth. So, Satyavaneva Jayate. That is important. And then he says, Satyena Vitapanthaha Vitato Devaya. Devayanaha Panthaha Satyena Vitataha. The path to Brahmaloka, Devayana here is in Brahmaloka, is laid down by the people who live ethical life. People who are committed to their kartavyas. That is Satya. Satyena Pantha. It is called Devayana because that's the path by which celestial chariots move around, celestial people move around. Okay. And he says, Yena Rishayaha Akramanti, by which that is a path through which sages attained that ultimate destination. That means they must be free from kama, krodha, lobha, mad, moha, matsarya. And then Rishaya, Darshanavanta, Kuhakaha, Maya, Shathya, Ahankara, Damban, Varjita, Anrita, Varjita. So, Satyameva Jayate, Namritam. Okay. So, going to Brahmaloka Aptakama is also Tad Paramam Nididhyaname Dhyanam Satyasya. Tad Paramam Satyasya Nidhanam. That's a place where great treasure or moksha lived. That's ultimate end of human existence. The purpose of living the path of Satyam is to facilitate. No. The purpose of living the path of Satyam is to gain knowledge. And that knowledge is Satyam. Therefore, Paramaham Nidhanam Satyam. So that's ultimate abode of truth. Okay. And then he says, there is a kosha. That is a treasure that you are. That kind of treasure. Look at the mantra. Tatra Rishayasya Paramam Nidhanam. That's ultimate abode of Rishayaha. And that is why it is said Paramam Nidhanam. In English, we can have this name, that is Param Dham. In Gita, it is words. Yad Gatvan Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So Param. Next mantra again talks about all pervasiveness of the Brahman and its availability in Hriday Gufa that we'll discuss next time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shri Guru Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.